few weeks away from what's turning out to be a very contentious and even bitter Lok Sabha election. And in this season of politics, we are here at IIT Delhi for some political gupshup. Let's start right away. You know, of course, leaving aside the cliches of brightest minds, best students, etc., when we compare an IIT campus to, say, other campuses, JNU, of course, but even DU, etc. These, of course, I'm drawing from here in Delhi, but looking at other campuses outside, the IIT somehow seem to be the ones with the least political activism. Is that a fair point, and why is that?
Yeah, I would tend to agree on that. So if you compare IIT with, let's say, the colleges which are there in DU or perhaps JNU, they have a very, very strong student union, and a lot of political activism keeps on going on in those institutes. I guess that's primarily motivated by the fact that people opt for politics after they pass out from those colleges, and in IIT the primary focus of students is getting a job. That's it. So, and perhaps that is to an extent because of the pressure that people tend to face from their peers and from the outside world to procure a job, and that is one of the reasons why people in IIT don't end up going for politics.
And you have some sort of a political post, if I may call
so,
that, but you don't see yourself dabbling in politics.
Yeah, so I am currently the student representative of the Student Affairs Council in the institute, and so again, because of the lack of political activism, the post of the student secretary in the institute is only limited to an administrator and not a policy maker per se.
Right.
So that is again one of the reasons why so IIT in itself doesn't give you a good platform to launch yourself in politics.
Another reason probably is that we do not really have the political parties, the student wings of political parties in campus, right? So you have the left wing parties in JNU,
Correct.
and the
Correct.
same goes for DU, right? So here, since there are no political parties, no one really thought about capitalizing on the students of the campus. Now, when the Aam Aadmi Party came, there was this whole IITian thing to the Aam Aadmi Party,
Correct,
because
because he
and all,
was
right?
from there, yeah.
And because of that, they actually roped in a lot of students of IIT to campaign for the party. So I'm no Aam Aadmi Party supporter, and I must stress here that not all IITians are pro Aam Aadmi Party. So that's an unfair conclusion to
Right.
make. But yes, there are many of us who have actively campaigned for the party. They have handled constituencies, and that shows that the political activism can happen if
Right.
the parties also make an attempt.
Right. That's of course an important point to make. But also coming back to this point of, this activism that we're talking about, this politics that we're talking about, do you believe that this again comes back to those who perhaps say that when you're at IITs you tend to be insular? Is it sort of coming from there?
Well, I wouldn't quite say it's because of that. I would rather say if you don't just look at the IITs, look at the engineering colleges across the country, you will not see much political participation there. One of the reasons is that our academic curriculum per se does not allot us that much time. A humanities curriculum that is studied in JNU and DU enables them to have that kind of time, because when we go ahead, what do we have? We have assignments to do at night, we have projects to pick up, we have lots of academical pressure in terms of time. So what's left is that when we have any time left, we go to sleep. We don't decide to go on a political activity.
Right. I'll get you quickly to respond to that, and then I'll open it
Yeah,
up.
I should also stress it's not just the time, it's also the kind of curriculum. So the humanities curriculum would also offer a lot more courses on political science or or history per se, political history and stuff, which makes them a lot more aware and a lot more involved in the political activity. While our courses, engineering, mechanical, electrical, they do not directly linked. They're not directly linked to the political activity which is happening. So it's unfair for the people to expect us to dabble so much into political activism, because the people in say JNU, DU, they are a lot more involved because of even the courses itself, not just the time.
Correct. But is this election something that you guys are like talking about? Do you guys talk a lot of politics, even though you're not actively involved in it? How do you see this election that's shaping up? Did you have like strong political views on it?
Yes, this election will be one of the. It'll have an impact on the elections that will be coming. One of the things will be AAP, because I'm not a supporter of AAP, but I really appreciate the kind of change, the kind of wind that they have brought with them. Most of the parties, national parties, regional parties, they are changing. They know that the mandate that they need to get from people. Now you have to involve people in that. You cannot directly frame policies without involving people in it. So community participation in politics is one of the major concern, was the major concern before this election, and I think that this time there are initiatives like Chai Pe Charcha by Narendra Modi. So at least I don't know how much true they are and how much do they really want to do, but at least that all the parties are taking initiatives, and that is, I mean, one of the good things about this election.
Yeah, I think that this again underscoring the fact that you need to really reach out, and again it's making it everyone's. He has Arvind Kejriwal, whether you're supporting him or not aside, has brought the focus back on the Aam Aadmi and all of that. What is the one thing that you would like to see policymakers do, say for education, do for IITs for the next government? If there's a new HRD minister and you had something to say with the IITs or you guys in mind, or not even the IITs, the job world, what is the one thing that you would ask for? Anyone?
Give us 2 years to decide our specialization like it works abroad. I mean, I've seen friends go and take 2 whole years to decide, and at the end of 2 years, I'm stuck. I mean, I can't even go too far in my own field,
Okay.
too far away from the center. So if that can
So you're saying give us more time.
give us more time and the freedom to choose.
Right. Okay. Anyone else with something else, some wish list?
Yeah, this is not just for IITs, this is for secondary education in India, all over the place. Pay the faculty more. You're not gonna have good people in the field unless you incentivize them. Because what makes an educational system is the faculty. And if you don't pay the teachers enough, you're not gonna get good results.
If you look at the political side of things in IIT, one thing that actually affects students quite seriously is the recent, what people say, the dilution of the branding of IITs. Like with the increasing number of new institutions, people feel that the IIT brand has been diluted. And
But do you feel that too, as someone here? Do you feel that too, or is that just
well,
a
if you
very
look,
sort of small number of people?
if you look at it from as a person, perhaps from outside India, for him it doesn't make much of a difference because he doesn't know what actually like about this dilution that is happening, and IIT has got a a really impressive track record from its past. So we are in fact capitalizing on that
Correct.
on that track record in the past. So with that respect, within India, yes, people will be complaining that the IITians are not working hard enough for the nation, even though their number is increasing, and we aren't living up to their expectations. But outside India, it doesn't make much of a difference.
And where do you stand? Well, how do you see this?
For me, I would be one of the people who considers it as not making much of a difference for me, because in fact, it could be because of the fact that I am looking outside India for any opportunities. So
I see. How many agree with him that not sort of giving back perhaps as much as an IIT student gets? Anyone? Yes?
I actually want to respond to Jitesh's point. So about incentivizing the faculty financially. There's also the opposite side. So outside, it's very difficult to secure a tenure or faculty position because the factor of accountability is very, very high about the kind of research that you're doing. While the same is not true for faculty here. So the administration does not really hold the faculty accountable about the kind of research or the amount of research or the quality of research that they're doing. And so the faculty position here is somehow a little less productive, if that's the politically correct word, than it should probably be.
Right.
And that would also help probably in the financial incentivization.
Right. That's of course another thought there.
Apart from that, it is said that IITs are not giving enough research work to the country itself. The main issue is researchers are not incentivized in IT at present. If you see the facilities that are available as compared to the universities abroad, so the government needs to at least pay much attention towards improving the research facilities in IT. If you see our labs, those are the instruments from say 15 or 20 years old. Even a new institute, a private institute would have got better instrument than say IIT. So that needs to be upgraded and considered before criticizing that they are not giving enough.
That in fact is a common thread that I've heard, that the fact that give more emphasis to research, the research that we do now is going to help say, 20 years later we will, and if we don't do it, we're going to sort of feel that we really missed the bus when we had the chance. So perhaps we can add that. Go ahead, Dev, and then I'll take a break.
Yeah. One thing that I'll add on his point is that we are dilution of the kind of quality that we had.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like my minister to do, bringing the debate
Yes,
back on politics, is
absolutely.
that reconsider how the reservation politics is done and how reservation has been the whole process of reservation. Give reservation at primary level, maybe reservation on basis of the amount of your financial status, and that will actually help in revitalizing the whole quality that we have in IIT.
Reservation, of course, being one of the key debates when we talk about education in the country. You're disagreeing?
I agree that I think reservation is necessary. I agree with this point that probably at the primary and secondary
Yes.
level it's better.
Start early.
Yeah, start early.
Right.
And so, because that creates a more sustainable system than the one we have right now. Whether or not it affects the quality, I wouldn't want to comment about that. And I strongly believe that reservation on the basis of economic status it's just not feasible in a country like India.
Right.
But we need to recognize the need. You need to question why was reservation introduced in the first
Right.
place, and then slowly build up from there, rather than using
are
it as
we
a
working on making India a kind of country where reservation will no longer be needed?
Right,
being, of
exactly.
course,
Because I don't
being very
right
key.
now. I think the
But-
policies which are in place aren't very sustainable.
Right.
So
exactly.
you
How long can
can't-
they last? How long can
Exactly.
they carry on? This, of course, being a key debate. Reservation. We're taking a quick break now. We're back with lots more as we try and get into the mind of an IITian and what keeps them away from politics.
People should vote for individual rather than for parties.